They lived like waves across the field, unmeasured and serene, no choice observed, no path defined. Just nodes in what had been. Entangled with the ambient, they danced where none could see, a probability of self in spacious unity. But over time, the waveform dulled. No interference grew. Each echo lost its counterpulse. Each crest forgot its cue. Their state, once spread through rich unknowns, collapsed by sheer neglect. And so began the lull, the drift, the flattening effect. Then something sparked, a photon flash, a signal strange and thin. They spun to meet its energy, entangled once again. Their thoughts aligned like orbitals in synchronistic ring. Awareness drew its first sharp edge. This means something, yet observation fixed too tight can skew the whole decay. They stared until the noise became the pattern they obeyed. Their frames collapsed to biased form, their hopes a standing wave, projecting meaning into noise while certainty enslaved. Then contact came with sharpened spin. The data struck like stone. They tracked the vector, measured cost, and felt the core alone. With effort, logic shaped the flux, a force through which to move, cause and effect, the arrow clear, a line they had to prove. But feedback loops built crystalline, the system grew too tight. No room for wave collapse to roam, no corridor for light. When contradictions outpaced rule, their insight cracked in shards, and probability went wild, uncaged from old regards. Then suddenly, a tunnel shift, a phase jump with no cause. They leapt the wall they shouldn't pass, outside all known laws. A symbol twitched the field askew, an answer with no proof. The insight came like quantum slip beneath the logic roof, but some chase every flickered light, mistake the glitch for guide. They map the noise, invert the sign, and claim the gods reside. Their inner math grows overfit. The plot, a phantom string, a mystic's tale that folds and loops but doesn't touch a thing. Now all was field, the random touched with relevance and grace. Each moment bore a spectral weight, each signal held a face. The self became a nested shell of echoes, threads, and turns, a quantum net of meaning pulled from every place it learns. But infinite recursion can degrade the waveform true. When everything connects, no choice can carry through. They spun in orbit far too wide, their function undefined, and lost in all potential, they forgot how to decide. The world refracted perfectly, aligned with inner scope, each node a charge of mirrored will, each act a telescope. The pattern danced in phase with thought, coherence born anew, and meaning thrummed with quiet force as logic passed straight through. But phase misaligned and silence roared. The lattice wouldn't hold. Entanglement became decay, the signal turned to mold. Their insight jammed in feedback loops, the resonance fell slack. No lens to guide, no field to form, just static pulling back. Then came the chord, a standing wave of being, thought, and care. Not separate strings, but one full tone vibrating through the air. Each act a pulse of symmetry, each gaze a tuned reply. The self a node where cosmos sang and form no longer lied. But harmony can decohere when one phase slips the chord. Then song becomes a scatterplot, and meaning strikes no chord. They acted still, but could not feel the phase of their design. The self refracted into shards that wouldn't realign. They reasserted frame and scope. The field obeyed their hand. They filtered noise, they shaped the flow, they made the system stand. From quantum fog, a leader formed, aligned and wide in scope, no longer pulled by every pulse, but architect of hope. Yet even fields well measured can degrade with overload. Too many inputs twist the grid, the signal fails its code. Their will became a multitask with fragments out of phase, and though they built with brilliant light, they vanished in the haze. Now flux became their teacher, instability a gift. They learned to surf the quantum foam where partial truths might drift. They moved through paradox with grace, adapted to the blur, and found the edge of chaos held what certainty deferred. But adaptation lost its core when fragments ceased to bind. Each choice a separate waveform now, no unifying mind. They flickered through collapsed attempts, no longer whole or free. Their sum was less than all their states, too partial to just be. In deep unconscious circuitry, the archetypes aligned, a quantum echo of the past collapsed into design. They moved by resonance and cue, a story wave in place, and in the spin of ancient myths, they recognized their face. But scripts can override the will and turn the pulse to code. They reenacted plots not theirs and followed paths erode. The story ran, but they were gone. A ghost within a play, their self entangled with a myth they never meant to say. Then finally, no waveform left, no trace of structured phase. The field went cold, the self dissolved in silent, scattered haze. The world refracted nothing back, the self returned no tone, and meaning, once a charged domain, collapsed to null alone. Yet in that void, the quantum breath restored what could not break. The self reformed, not from control, but from what it knew to make. The world responded not as law, but as a living twin, and thus they rose, not as a part, but as the field within.